It's not supposed to be easy in your 20s. We're trying to figure our lives out, our career, our love life, our health, and even our common addictions. On top of that, we have to deal with our self-doubt, insecurities, imposter syndrome, and this existential weight we put on our shoulders. It's not supposed to be easy. All of this comes from our arrogance because in our teens and even early 20s, we think we know it all, how the world figured out, but then that arrogance fades away because the world exposes us for who we really are. Broke, insecure, young adults trying to keep afloat. It's not supposed to be easy. The world is angry, scarred, just like me. The truth is, things will get worse before they can get better. Our scars can destroy us in our 20s, but if we survive them, they can give us the power to endure and the courage to never give up and stick true to who we are. In this video, I want to talk about 3 ideas that will help you figure out your 20s, and hopefully this video will give you the power to endure and fight. The first idea I have for today is pushing through the valley of despair. So there's an idea of the 5 stages of entrepreneurship which Alex Hormozi brings up. Stage 1, uninformed optimism. This is when you get super excited on this new path you're about to embark on. You see all the benefits towards this goal. This is like someone who sees sales or drop shipping or content creation as the next thing that's going to make them rich. Then stage 2 hits. Informed pessimism. This is when all the obstacles and hurdles come in your way that nobody actually told you about. This is where many people have an existential crisis, burn out, and in fact, most people don't get past this valley of despair because they never recognize it for what it is. This is why people jump from one business to another, one degree to another, and even one girl to another. They think that the next thing will be it, and it'll give them that sense of stage 1, uninformed optimism, which repeats itself in an endless loop. The reason why many people get stuck for years and even decades is because they don't recognize that they're in the valley of despair. If you can recognize it in advance and get past it, you get to stage 4, which is informed optimism. This is where you see both the pros and cons of your new venture and you actually know how to manage the downsides while capitalizing on the upsides. And then stage 5, the achievement of the goal. So the reason I told you all of this is because this can be applied in any domain of your life. For some of you, it might be getting a degree, getting to 12% body fat, saving $20,000, whatever it is, you're not seeing it all the way through and trying to get through that valley of despair. In your next 5 moves, Patrick Bet-David mentions that just like chess players, we should know our next 5 moves before playing our first one. In the 5 steps he talks about, I want to outline the 2 most important ones that you can use in your 20s. Number 1, understanding yourself. So what drives you? What are your strengths and weaknesses? If you want clarity on understanding yourself better, I put 10 journal questions in the description below that you can actually do to get a better understanding of yourself. Then number 2, learn to solve problems effectively. The best way to get better at problem solving comes from extreme ownership, where Jocko Willink claims that you have to take responsibility for absolutely everything that happens in your life. And Patrick Bet-David mentions that you give yourself the power to actually accept yourself for who you are, and that way you have the power to actually solve your problems. The second you blame someone else, you're giving them all the power to your life and your problems. Use these 2 steps to see what drives you forward. What's something that you genuinely enjoy doing, and what's one bottleneck that's keeping you from getting there? Understanding your bottlenecks and attacking it behemoth scorched flame style for like 3-4 months at a time will get you so much closer to your goals than trying to focus on too many things at once. Your 20s aren't there for having everything figured out. Your 20s are there to lay out the foundations in every domain that you want to pursue. So that way when you get to your 30s, you don't have to worry about getting a job or saving money or getting the best shape of your life because you laid down the foundations in your 20s. So if you're feeling lost in your 20s, just dial in on one thing at a time. Just make that your focal point. Make everything else and support around that one thing until you get it to a level you're content with, which will then open up doors for you for your next goal to tackle. Remember, I can guide you, but at the end of the day, you have to put in the internal work to get through the valley of despair. The second idea I have for today is that sometimes the valley of despair really is just a roadblock. I know I just gave you all this hope to push through the valley of despair, but sometimes you have to know when to strategically give up. Sometimes you'll give it your all in something and then fail miserably. And there's no reason for this other than such is life. We're sold this lie that if you work hard, you get this result. Brother, you know how many times I've worked hard in my life and failed countless times? I'm not trying to make you feel bad about yourself. I'm just trying to tell you the truth because you need to learn when to give up or at least hit that pause button on your dreams and come back to it later on. In The Alchemist, the main character Santiago was forced to work for a crystal merchant for an entire year after he got all his life savings stolen away from him and needed the time to acquire the funds to continue his journey. So the only way you're allowed to pivot away from the valley of despair is if you saw it all the way through and you're doing all the right things but see no hope towards that goal. You might have to sacrifice some dreams down the road to make something else work. You might have to completely pivot away from a career path that you thought was going to be your main thing. You might have to hit the pause button on your journey just like Santiago did in The Alchemist in order to continue your journey later on. I'm personally back into transitioning into a 9-to-5 job, which I was completely against just a couple months ago, but I'm probably going to hold on to this for a very long time because it's going to make so much unfold for me. So such is life, there are setbacks, and knowing when to strategically give up will help you play the game longer. One thing I'm realizing now is that I'm interested in so many endeavors. I love boxing, powerlifting, journaling, writing, creative writing, and even now I'm getting into cinematography and making videos. So I'm realizing that in life, there's going to be different stages where you're going to have to give up certain hobbies because you have to prioritize other things that will make much more unfold for you. In your 20s, you should take advantage of your youth and just experience as much domains as you're interested in, so that way when you're in your 30s, you can leverage these skills into anything you want. The third idea I have for today is that everyone has their own timeline. Imagine this: Stan Lee didn't catch his break until he was 40 years old when he published The Fantastic Four. Ray Kroc founded McDonald's at age 52. Obama started at 55 while Trump started at 70. Everyone in this world operates on their own given time zone. Some might seem so far ahead of you and some might seem at rock bottom compared to you. The point is, everyone has their own timeline, so it's not fair for you to compare where you are now to someone else's, and it's also not fair of you to envy what others have because you don't know the sacrifices it took for that person to get in the position they are in today. In The Alchemist, the Arabic word maktub is mentioned multiple times, which basically means it is written, as in fate or destiny. The ancient Stoics have a similar phrase, amor fati, which means love your fate. This doesn't mean to sit down and eat chips, but rather set the right intentions, set the right actions, and pursue your life in the right direction. But whatever happens, happens, man. Just let it go. Thomas Edison was eating dinner when he was told that a massive explosion erupted in his campus. At the age of 67, Thomas Edison looked at his 24-year-old son and told him to get his mother and all her friends because they will never see a fire like this ever in their lives. All of his life's work and his dad's work up in ashes. He lost nearly $1 million, which is equivalent to almost $20 million today. And you know what he did? He accepted his fate and he started fresh again tomorrow. And the following year, he went on to make $10 million. That is what maktub and amor fati means to me. If you can stay positive in a negative situation, then you've won in life. In Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl said what kept people alive in the concentration camps was a strong sense of hope in the future. What kept Viktor Frankl alive? The thought of his wife and redoing his life's work that was lost when they confiscated his manuscripts. That was all the hope he needed. So if you're feeling hopeless, lost, confused, stuck, then don't worry, because there's always your next move in life. With the right strategic move, bro, you can go from a loser to a winner. Remember that everything in life is temporary. People will come and go. You will feel like you're nothing at times, especially in your 20s. But just remember, your present situation is never your final destination. It's always your next move. I hope you make the right move today. And speaking about the right move, I host private group coaching sessions every weekend where I basically speak with like-minded men on these topics such as masculinity, self-improvement, finance, even topics like, feeling lost in your 20s. So I would highly encourage you, if you're feeling lost or stuck, to sign up for that program. It's super cheap. For only $20 a month, you get 4 hours of group coaching with me and other like-minded men. It's super helpful. And yeah, I'm hoping to see you there. I'll see you guys in the next video.